the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
So in the last session, we have discussed some basics of chemistry involving a chemical formula, right? Chemical formula. Chemical formula. So in chemical formula, we have taken up binary compounds involving two elements. So binary stands for two elements forming the compound. So chemical formula of some simple binary compounds we have studied, is it not? So today we are going to study some compounds involving polyatomic ions. So polyatomic species. So poly stands for many. So more than one atoms when they combine. So generally two antandre binary anta helidhivi. So more than two, if we take the number of atoms, then it is indicated by polyatomic species. So now we got compounds, so ಎರಡೇ elements in the form ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. So it may be formed by more than two elements also. In that case, we are studying polyatomic species. In that, cations and anions we will list out. So majorly we will be taking up polyatomic ions. So ions ideyalla, anions here. So anions formed by more than one element. So cation mattu anion combine ಮಾಡಿ, let us see some chemical formula. So with the chemical formula, we will be able to study the chemical equations, right? So in nature, there are a lot of chemical reactions taking place. So our chemical reactions anna ನಾವು ಓದಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ first we need to understand the chemical formula. So today, so we will be learning few more chemical formula involving polyatomic species. So ಆ polyatomic species ತಗೊಂಡು formula ಅನ್ನ ಕಲಿತು ನಂತರ will be seeing the chemical equations. Take up cations, here anions. So last session alli we have seen few important cations which are Na plus irbodu, K plus irbodu, then we have Li plus irbodu, Ca plus 2, Al plus 3, etc. So let's take a few cations that we have seen in the previous session. So let's take the anions which are polyatomic in nature. In general, we can call them as polyatomic anions. So one such simple polyatomic ion is hydroxide ion, OH minus. See here, how many atoms are present? Two atoms. One is oxygen atom and the other is hydrogen atom. So ಎರಡು atom combine ಆಗಿದೆ. Okay, so this is more than one atom ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ we will give a name as polyatomic species. So this is called hydroxide. And the valency is 1 minus 1. Okay, so next let us take SO4, 2 minus. This is called sulfate ion. SO4, 2 minus, sulfate ion. Next CO3, 2 minus, carbonate ion. NO3 minus, nitrate ion. HCO3 minus, which is called bicarbonate ion. bicarbonate ion. So we have taken up few anions which are polyatomic in nature. Let's try to write the formula of combining cations and anions. So let's take a few examples. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ cation sodium ತಗೋಣ, anion hydroxide ion ತಗೋಣ, okay, which is giving rise to sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide. Sodium cation Na plus, hydroxide is OH minus. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ valence ಎಷ್ಟು 1. So ಇದು cross multiply ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಇದು ಎಷ್ಟು ಬರುತ್ತೆ 1. ಇಲ್ಲಿ OH minus ಕೂಡ 1. So Na 1, OH minus 1, or NaOH is the chemical formula of sodium hydroxide. Okay. Second one. So potassium hydroxide ತಗೊಂಡ್ರು ಕೂಡ similarly KOH ಬರ್ತವೆ. Let's take calcium hydroxide. Calcium hydroxide. Calcium ion is Ca plus 2. Hydroxide ion is OH minus. The valency of 1 for calcium, the valency of 2 for hydroxide, giving rise to Ca1 OH. How many times? 2 times. Or we can just write as CaOH twice, calcium hydroxide. As I mentioned in the previous session, we need not represent 1 here. Okay, CaOH twice is calcium hydroxide. Similarly, let us take aluminium hydroxide. Aluminium hydroxide. Aluminium hydroxide. Aluminium ion is Al plus 3. Hydroxide ion is OH minus. OH minus. The formula will be nothing but Al OH thrice. Al OH thrice. So OH valence is 1, that is Al1. Aluminium valence is 3, so it is OH thrice. Aluminium hydroxide. Let's take few more examples. So fourth example. Let's take sulfate. Okay, sodium and sulfate, which is called sodium sulfate, is the chemical compound, and we will be writing the formula for sodium sulfate. Sodium is Na plus, sulfate is SO4 2 minus. So formula bardre 2 minus here, that is valency 2 for sodium, here 1 for sulfate, which is Na2SO4 over. Na2SO4 is the formula, chemical formula of sodium sulfate. Hope it is clear. Next one, calcium sulfate. Calcium sulfate. Calcium sulfate. Calcium ion is Ca plus 2. Sulfate ion is SO4 2 minus. So both are having same valency. Hence, the formula is CaESO4 as I previously mentioned. So here also 2, here also 2. This is 2 here. This is also 2. Ca2SO4 twice barutte. So avaga calcium 2 and sulfate 2, that can be cancelled. So 2 calcium atoms will combine with 2 sulfate ions. Andre, one calcium atom combines with how many sulfate? It is 1. Therefore, the formula will be calcium sulfate, CaESO4. Next one. Let's take a carbonate example. Okay. Sodium carbonate. Sodium carbonate. Carbonate. Sodium ion is Na plus. Carbonate ion is CO3 2 minus. So 2 here, 1 here, giving rise to Na2CO3, sodium carbonate. Okay. Next one. Sodium bicarbonate. Sodium bicarbonate. Sodium ion is Na plus. Bicarbonate ion, here it is, which is HCO3 minus, which is also called hydrogen carbonate. Both are same, bicarbonate or hydrogen carbonate. So now the chemical formula for sodium bicarbonate would be NaHCO3, sodium bicarbonate, or one more name will be sodium bicarbonate, sodium hydrogen carbonate. Both are same. So hope this is clear to you all. Next example, we have nitrate. Okay, let's take a calcium nitrate. Calcium nitrate. Calcium nitrate. Calcium ion is Ca plus 2. Nitrate ion is NO3 minus. So 1 here, 2 here, gives rise to CaNO3 twice. Calcium nitrate, CaNO3 twice, which is calcium nitrate. So we have completed almost many of the chemical formulas. So taking polyatomic as well. So aluminium nitrate ಮತ್ತು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ aluminium hydrogen bicarbonate ಅನ್ನ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಣ example ಆಗಿ. So 2 more examples let's take. Ninth one, aluminium carbonate. Aluminium carbonate. Aluminium carbonate. Aluminium ion is Al plus 3. Carbonate ion is CO3 2 minus. So valency of carbonate here, valency of aluminium here, to give the formula Al2 CO3. CO3. How many times? Thrice. Al2 CO3 twice. Thrice. Okay. Aluminium carbonate is Al2 CO3 thrice. Clear? Next. Aluminium nitrate. Aluminium nitrate. Sorry. So this is Al2 CO3 twice. Correct. Aluminium nitrate. Aluminium nitrate. So aluminium is Al plus 3. Nitrate ion is NO3 minus. So the formula, so this is 1 here, 3 here, Al NO3 thrice. Okay, Al NO3 thrice, aluminium nitrate. So we have taken a few examples of writing the chemical formula of species containing polyatomic, okay, polyatomic ions. So anions we have taken more than one atoms involved, so which is polyatomic. Okay, so that is about chemical formula. So with the chemical formula, we will be taking up now chemical equations. Chemical equations. Chemical equations. So you have studied about chemical equations. So in chemistry, we will come across a lot of reactions, okay, where reactants combine to give the products, isn't it? So that chemical reactions ನಾವು ಬರೀಲಿಕ್ಕೆ expression ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? That expression is nothing but the chemical equations. So it is an expression to represent the chemical reaction. Expression to represent a chemical reaction. A chemical reaction. Expression to represent a chemical reaction. So we can call them as symbolic representation. This is nothing but symbolic representation of reactants and products. Okay. So a symbolic representation of a chemical reaction requires chemical formula, is it not? So chemical formula of a chemical substance, adanna combine madadaga they will give rise to product. So reactants to products. So here chemical formula are involved, therefore we have taken up the chemical formula. So when you know the chemical formula, we can combine those chemical formulas to form the product. So let's understand with an example. So when we take the example, you will understand it better. So simple example thon. Formation of water. Water is formed by the combination of hydrogen and oxygen. H2 and O2 combines to give H2 water. Okay. So ist bardre salala. Illi H2 symbolic representation of hydrogen, O2 is the symbolic representation of oxygen, H2O is the symbolic representation of water. So hydrogen and oxygen combines to give H2. Here we need to balance the reaction. So we came up with one more concept called balancing the reaction. Why we need to balance the reaction, or what is balancing of the reaction? So look here. So there is a law called law of conservation of mass. Law of conservation of mass. Law of conservation of mass. So yen helutte ee law? So this law suggests that mass can neither be created nor be destroyed. It can only be transformed from one form to other. So illi left side alli ನಾವು reactant alli ತಗೊಂಡಿರುವಂತ mass should remain same with respect to the product also. So ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಮಾಸ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಡಿಫರೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಸ್ ಸಿಗುವಂತದ್ದು ಆಗಲ್ಲ. So that is we need to follow law of conservation of mass. So according to law of conservation of mass, the chemical reactions or chemical equations needs balancing. Is it clear? So let's balance this particular equation. So here hydrogen left side ಎಷ್ಟು atoms ಇದೆ? hydrogen ಇದು 2 atoms ಇದೆ, ಹೌದಾ? So 2 atom of hydrogen. Right side ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ 2 atoms of hydrogen ಇದೆ. So hydrogen here 2 atoms. So 2 ಕೂಡ balance ಆಯ್ತು, left as well as right. But let's ಚೆಕ್ ವಿತ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್. ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದೇ ಆಟಮ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ವೆನೆವರ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸಿಂಗ್, we are writing here as a prefix, we mention the number. If you write here, the formula of a particular compound will be changed. That will not be water. So if we write H2O2 here to balance oxygen, if you write O2 here, this is the formula of hydrogen peroxide. ನಮಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು water. If you write H2O2, it is the formula of hydrogen peroxide. Therefore, balance ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ numbering should be given before the formula. Okay, so ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗ ನಾವು ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ನ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ಎಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು ಇಲ್ಲಿ? ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ 2 ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ವು, ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ 2 ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಆದ್ರೆ ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಎಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು ಈಗ? 2 into 2, 4 ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ ಆದ್ವು ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್. ಆದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ? ಓನ್ಲಿ 2 atoms of hydrogen. So in order to balance the hydrogen atoms, you need to multiply by 2. So the actual chemical equation for the formation of water will be 2 moles of H2 react with 1 mole of oxygen to give 2 moles of water. Or simple agi helodandre 2 atoms of H2 react with 1 atom of O2 gives rise to 2 atoms of H2O water. Clear? So this here is the chemical equation. So ಈ chemical equation ಅನ್ನ ಇನ್ನೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ hydrogen, nothing but we are taking this hydrogen as a gas. So hydrogen gas, oxygen gas, H2O formed is a liquid. So we are mentioning here the reactants and the products in their respective states. Hydrogen, oxygen in the gaseous state and water is formed in the liquid state. Here the numbers 2 and 2, these are nothing but the coefficients. These are called coefficients. So here what is the coefficient? The coefficient is nothing but 1, right now. So 1 is the coefficient. Okay. So this is nothing but the expression for a chemical reaction called chemical equation. Okay, is it clear? So we have seen chemical equation. So it is nothing but the representation of a chemical reaction. So symbolically we mention the hydrogen, oxygen and water as per the example. That means chemical formula of hydrogen, chemical formula of oxygen to get the chemical formula of water. So this is nothing but the chemical equations. So we'll continue with a few more examples here of a chemical equation. We'll start to understand better. Okay. So let's start with a few examples. Example 1. Nitrogen plus hydrogen combines to give ammonia, NH3. So this is a very important equation called Haber's equation or Haber's process for the preparation of ammonia from nitrogen and hydrogen. Okay, so ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ ಈಗ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ N2 plus H2 gives rise to NH3. ನೈಟ್ರೋಜನ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಆಟಮ್ ಇದೆ? 2 ಆಟಮ್ ಇದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಆಟಮ್ ಇದೆ? ಓನ್ಲಿ 1 ಆಟಮ್. ಸೊ ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಮೇಕ್ ಇಟ್ 2 ಹಿಯರ್. ಆವಾಗ ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಎಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು? 3 into 2. Total 6 atoms of hydrogen. Here we have only 2. So we will get 6 when we multiply it by 3. So complete chemical equation for the formation of ammonia is N2 plus 3H2 gives rise to 2NH3. Okay, so here also nitrogen is a gas, hydrogen gas gives rise to ammonia gas as the product. Okay, next example. Example number 2. CH4 plus O2 gives rise to combustion of methane. CH4 is a methane, oxygen, O2 oxygen gives rise to carbon dioxide and water. This is methane plus oxygen gives rise to carbon dioxide and water. Let's check whether the reaction is balanced or not. First, let's start with carbon atom. So left side carbon atom 1 is, right side also carbon atom 1. So it is balanced. Let's check for hydrogen. Hydrogen is there, 4 atoms is left side. Right side check madidre illi just 2 atoms. So let's balance it by multiplying it with 2. Right? 2 into 2, how many? 4 atoms of hydrogen aitu. Oxygen na balance ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ 2 and ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ 2. 2 plus 2. 4 oxygen atoms. So this is 2 and 2. 4 atoms of oxygen aitu. ಇಲ್ಲಿ 2 atoms ಮಾತ್ರ ಇದೆ. Let us multiply by 2. CH4 plus 2O2 gives rise to CO2 plus 2H2O. So this is the combustion reaction. So combustion products of methane are nothing but carbon dioxide and water. Okay, so that is the second reaction we have taken up. Next one, third one. Calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide gives rise to calcium carbonate, CaCO3. Calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide gives rise to calcium carbonate. So this is nothing but the arrow mark suggesting the forward reaction. So reactant combine ಆಗಿ product form ಆಗೋದು. ಹಾಗೆ ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು backward reaction ಆಗು ಬರಿಬಹುದು. Because calcium carbonate ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು heat ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, subjected to heat, we can convert back to calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. So there are 2 types of reactions. So it is only single arrow mark suggests the reactions are forward direction or products will be formed. This double arrow mark indicates that product can also be converted to nothing but the reactants. So double headed arrow mark inda kuda ನಾವು represent ಮಾಡಬಹುದು reactions ಅನ್ನ when both reactions are possible. Okay, so let's try to balance this reaction. So calcium atom 1, calcium atom 1 here, so both are balanced. Oxygen atoms 1 plus 2, 3 oxygen atoms, so here also 3 oxygen atoms, balanced. Carbon 1, here also 1, so it is a balanced chemical equation. Okay, let's take next example, fourth one. Barium chloride plus sulfuric acid, EH2SO4. Barium sulfate, BaSO4 plus HCl. So the reaction between barium chloride and H2SO4 is nothing but king of acids, which is sulfuric acid, to give rise to barium sulfate and HCl, which is nothing but hydrochloric acid. Barium chloride, H2SO4 gives rise to BaSO4 plus HCl. Now let's balance this equation. Barium 1 atom left side, here also 1 atom, balanced. Cl, chlorine atoms 2 in number, here only 1, let us make it 2 here, 2 HCl. So ille Cl atoms balance aitu. Okay, hydrogen 2 atoms, here also 2 hydrogen atoms balanced. Sulfur 1 and 1, that is also balanced. Oxygen here 4 atoms, illu kuda 4 atoms. So it is a balanced chemical equation. Okay. Next example, aluminium plus chlorine gives rise to aluminium chloride AlCl3. This is aluminium metal, aluminium. This is chlorine, chlorine gas gives rise to aluminium chloride, aluminium chloride, aluminium chloride. So ಈಗ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. Aluminium 1 atom left side, aluminium also 1 atom on the right hand side. Cl, you can find here 2 atoms, here 3 atoms. So ಇದನ್ನ ಎರಡನ್ನು ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ let us make it 2 here, because 2 into 3, how many? 6 atoms of Cl. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು 3 ಇಂದ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ 6 atom ಆಯ್ತು, ಅಲ್ಯೂಮಿನಿಯಂ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ವಾ. Cl ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಯ್ತು, ಆದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಯೂಮಿನಿಯಂ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಇಂದ ಮಲ್ಟಿಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ 2 ಅಲ್ಯೂಮಿನಿಯಂ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ again you have to make it 2. So 2Al plus 3Cl2 gives rise to 2AlCl3. So this is the formation of aluminium chloride. Okay, these are the few examples we have taken up. You can practice with a few more examples. We know the chemical formula, is it not? So a chemical formula combine ಮಾಡಿ you can try forming the products. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ಈ ಎರಡು ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ನಾವು ನೋಡಬಹುದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ರಿಯಾಕ್ಟೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಕಂಬೈನ್ ಆಗಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಸಿಕ್ತು? 2 ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಸಿಕ್ತು. ಆದ್ರೆ ಈ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಡಕ್ಟ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕದು only 1 product. So there may be 2 products or there may be 1 product or more than 2 products are possible in a chemical equation. So when you come to the physical classes in the college, we will be taking up numerous number of examples of this kind of reactions. So to study that, you should have some basics related to chemical equations. So ಅದಕ್ಕೆ chemical formula ಅಂತ ತಗೊಂಡು ಆಮೇಲೆ chemical equations ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. Okay, hope you understood today's class. Okay, so we will be winding up as per now. Okay, thank you.